easy topic, I think, is there.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
so let's continue. Just- Okay, we have skipped the prayer. Let's do the prayer first. Adapt Namaskar Mudra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhimastu Ma Vidvisavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now rub your palms. Focus palms on your facial muscles. Feel the warmth, feel the energy, and the side. Okay. So till where did we covered yesterday?
Ma'am, I think we will start from the valves.
Yes. So valves of heart. The aortic valve is a semi-linear valve which controls the blood leaving the heart, controls the blood between the left ventricle and aorta. Okay. So it is the aortic valve is present between left atrium and left ventricle. This is enough for your information and understanding. Okay. You can see here it is leveled. The aortic valve that is present at the left side between atrium and ventricle. Next, there are two types of circulation. First one is pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. So pulmonary circulation is between heart and lungs, and systemic circulation is between heart and body. Just a minute. We have missed the other valves, right? Yes. Yes. From here, valves are starting. So, the valves are located within the chambers of heart. And what are the functions of valve? It controls the direction of blood flow. Now, in this picture, you can see that how valves are located. Means they are connected from the lower side, how they are connected and how they are stretched. You can see in this picture the white color is depicting valves. So they are connected from the bottom or from ventricles. Okay, so this is the structure of valve. And what are the functions of valve? Functions are it controls the direction of blood flow. Obviously, if blood is coming from atrium to ventricle, it will not backflow from ventricle to atrium, right? So that prevention is done by valves. It will not backflow. So the direction of flow is helped by valves and allow one way flow of blood through chambers from the heart to the body. Okay, and next is four valves are there. First one is tricuspid valve, Then pulmonary or pulmonary valve, pulmonic or pulmonary valve, the mitral valve, and aortic valve. These are the four valves present in heart. Next, the tricuspid valve. The tricuspid valve is an atrioventricular valve situated between atria and ventricle. So this tricuspid valve is present in between right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, it controls the opening between right atrium and right ventricle. Next, mitral valve. Mitral valve we already discussed. That is the bicuspid valve. It is atrioventricular valve. It is also present between left atrium and left ventricle. Controls blood flow between left atrium and left ventricle. Next, the pulmonic or pulmonary valve is a semi-linear valve which controls the blood leaving the heart. Okay, it is situated between the right ventricle and the pulmonary valve. Okay, where it is situated between right ventricle and pulmonary artery. So controls the flow of blood from right ventricle, prevents blood flow back to right ventricle as it relaxes. Okay, so again it is preventing the backflow of blood from pulmonary artery to right ventricle. Okay, so it is present between right ventricle and pulmonary artery. Next is aortic valve. Aortic valve is a semilunar valve which controls the blood leaving the heart. So it controls the blood. Blood flow between the left ventricle and aorta. And just now we have discussed this pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation between heart and lungs, between heart and body tissues. Okay. So here in this picture you can see that how the circulation is happening from body. The systemic circulation from body, deoxygenated blood is coming to right atrium. It is coming to right ventricle, and then it is going to lungs. Then it from lungs it is coming to right atrium, from right atrium to right ventricle, and then from left atrium, left ventricle, and from left ventricle again the oxygenated blood is circulating the whole body. This is the two types of circulations. When the blood is going to lungs and coming to heart, that is pulmonary circulation, and when the blood is going to body and coming to heart, that is systemic circulation. Now, how does the blood flow through your heart? Okay, the right and left sides of heart work together. What happens? In right side, blood enters the heart through two large veins. The inferior and superior vena cava emptying oxygen poor blood from body into right atrium. And left side, the pulmonary vein empties oxygen rich blood from lungs into left atrium. We all know this story. We have repeated this story so many times. Now, these are the same things we all know. Just we will go through fast. Right side blood flows from your right atrium to right ventricle through the open heart. I'm suffering a lot from monkeys. Sorry. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
So blood.
ma'am. Ma'am, are you outside?
No, I'm inside my room. They come inside my room sometimes.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's okay, ma'am. Ma'am, you can close the door or windows. It
Then
will be danger.
network will suffer. The network will suffer.
Okay. Really, ma'am, you are struggling for taking the class so much.
No, it's not for only class. They are coming all day. It's not only during the class. So I'm
Okay.
not giving any extra
No,
effort for
each
class.
door or windows, they will not come, na?
No problem. So let's
Okay.
continue. So blood flows from your right atrium into your right ventricle through open tricuspid valve. Okay. So which valve were there from in between right atrium and right ventricle?
Ma'am, tricuspid.
Yes, tricuspid. When the ventricles are full, the tricuspid valve shut. This prevents blood from flowing back into the atria while ventricles contract. Next, left side, blood flows from your left atrium into your left ventricle through open mitral valve. Now, this mitral valve is bicuspid valve, and these come so many times in your exam. So, mitral valve is only bicuspid valve.
Means bicuspid means only two doors are present. The valve is made up of two doors, and tricuspid means the valve is made up of three doors. Okay, so when the ventricles are full, mitral valve shut. It prevents the blood from flowing backward into the atria while the ventricles contract. Same thing. Uh, we all know these things. How does blood flow? Through your lungs. Once blood travels through the pulmonic valve, it enters your lungs. It's called pulmonary circulation.
From your pulmonic valve, blood travels to pulmonary artery to tiny capillary vessels in the lungs.
Here, oxygen travels from the tiny air sacs in the lungs through the walls of capillaries into the blood. We all have discussed these things during our respiratory system as well. So, I hope you remember these concepts. At the same time, carbon dioxide and waste products of metabolism passes from the blood into the air sacs. Carbon dioxide leaves the body when you exhale. When blood is purified and oxygenated, it travels back to left atrium through the pulmonary veins. Now, conducting system of heart.
Heart possesses a intrinsic property of generating own electrical impulses called autorhythmicity. Okay, so this autorhythmicity is part of our autonomic nervous system.
Now, heart possesses a intrinsic property. It is heart's intrinsic property to generate its own electrical impulses. Okay, and a small group of specialized neuromuscular cell in the myocardium initiate and conduct impulses, causing coordinated and synchronized contraction of heart muscle. The places where conduction occur called conduction site. A generation of electric impulse in conduction site resulting into heartbeat.
Okay, so where the conduction is occurring, for first time it is occurring in sinoatrial node, that is SA node. The conducting initiation of electrical impulse, which is starting the conduction, that is sinoatrial node, that is SA node. And what are they? They are specialized neuromuscular cells, neuromyocardium cells. And then from SA node, it is coming to atrioventricular node or AV node. Okay. And from AV node to AV bundle or bundle of His. And from bundle of His to Purkinje fibers. Now, this is the distribution from higher to lower level. The group of neuromuscular specialized cells lie in the wall of right atrium near the opening of superior vena cava. So the location we have already seen in earlier classes. SA node is a pacemaker of heart. It generates impulses usually between 60 to 80 times a minute. Firing of SA node transfer impulse to LA and AV node. Okay. Next is AV node, atrioventricular node. This is a group of neuromuscular specialized cell situated near the atrioventricular tricuspid valve in the septum. You can see in this picture, SA node and AV node. They are the main two nodes for mainly SA node is generating impulse. AV node stimulated by impulse from SA node and transmit signals from atrio genito and ventricles. Atrio. It will be atrium. It is called secondary pacemaker. Okay, so primary pacemaker is SA node and secondary pacemaker is atrioventricular node or AV node. It is capable of initiating impulses that cause contraction but at a slower rate than SA node. So, AV node is capable of initiating impulses but not that much of SA node. It causes contraction but slower rate than SA node. So, in how many contractions per minute? 40 to 60 times per minute. Okay. And what was the time? What was the number of SA node?
Yes, ma'am.
What
Means
was
how
the
many
contraction?
times?
Yes, it was 60 to 80 for SA node and 40 to 60 for AV node. Okay. Next is AV bundle. AV bundle is bundle of neuromuscular fibers receive impulse from AV node. You can see in this picture. AV node, then AV bundle or bundle of His, then Purkinje fibers are present at both sides. Okay. So you can see here, this is the primary pacemaker, SA node, then secondary pacemaker, AV node. So SA node is capable to generate impulses, or capable to generate beat 60 to 80 times per minute, and AV node is a bit slow than AV node is a bit slow than SA node. It is capable to generate beat about 40 to 60 times per minute. Next, the impulses come to AV bundle or bundle of His. Okay, so this bundle of His means the word His came from the scientist. Scientist was I think who discovered this
bundle, he put his name on this bundle. So, bundle of his. So next, when AV node is also not capable to generate impulses, at that time bundle of Hughes or AV bundle produces impulses. Okay, and then next is Purkinje fibers. So Purkinje fibers are this. You can see these are Purkinje fibers. So we will sorry. So we will learn about AV bundle or bundle of Hughes. Bundle of neuromuscular fibers received impulse from AV node. AV bundle crosses the fibrous ring that separates atria and ventricles at the upper end of ventricular septum. It divides into right and left branches. Branches on left ventricle called left AV bundle. Branches on right ventricle called right AV bundle. Within the myocardium, AV bundle divides into number of small fibers called Purkinje fibers. Okay. So, what are Purkinje fibers? Purkinje fibers transmit electrical impulses from AV node to apex of myocardium, where the wave of ventricular contraction begin when sweep upward and outward, pumping blood into pulmonary artery and aorta. Now, the cardiac cycle. The healthy adult heart is likely to beat at a rate of 60 to 80 beats per minute. Okay, so this is the generation or a proper function of SA node. Now, period of time of complete contraction, that is systole, and relaxation, that is diastole, of both atria and ventricles called cardiac cycle. Okay, so complete contraction and complete relaxation, that is known as cardiac cycle. So each cycle lasts about 0.8 of a second and consists of atrial systole, contraction of atria, and ventricular systole, contraction of ventricles, and complete cardiac diastole, relaxation of atria and ventricles. Sorry. So each cycle lasts about 0.8 of a second and consists these things: contraction of atrium, contraction of ventricles, and relaxation of both atrium and ventricles. So within 0.8 second, all these things happens. Okay. If we are beating 60 to 80 times per minute, means in a minute we are beating 60 to 80 times, then you can calculate within 0.8 second this what you call say atrial systole means atrial contraction, ventricular systole ventricular contraction, and whole heart relaxation is occurring. Now, the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava transport deoxygenated blood into right atrium and same time as the four pulmonary veins bring oxygenated blood into left atrium. Okay, so all the things are happening parallelly. When the right atrium is getting filled, at the same time left atrium is also getting filled. Means when the right atrium is getting filled with deoxygenated blood, at the same time left atrium is also getting filled with oxygenated blood. Okay. Then the atrioventricular valves are opened and blood flow passively through the ventricles SA node triggers the valve of contraction that spreads out the myocardium of both atria, emptying the atria and completing the ventricular filling. Now, the AV node receives the transmit electrical impulse which quickly spreads to ventricular muscle via AV bundle. So these things are very silly. We have already discussed this thing so many times. You can understand this through the slide. Okay. So
Next, then after AV node Purkinje fibers, they get the impulses. This results in a wave of contraction which sweeps upward from apex of heart and across the walls of both ventricles, pumping the blood into pulmonary artery and aorta. Okay, so what happening here? Both the atrium getting filled with oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, right atrium with deoxygenated blood and left atrium with oxygenated blood. Then the valves are opening and the blood is going down to both the ventricles from both the atriums,
and as per the electrical signal is generating, then the Purkinje fibers are stimulating the heart muscle or myocardium to contract the ventricles. So when the both the ventricles are contracting at the same time, from right ventricle the blood is going to pulmonary artery, and from left ventricle the blood is going to aorta at the same time. Okay, so this is the function. So after contraction of ventricles, there is a complete cardiac diastole, a period of 0.4 seconds. Okay, so when the ventricles get contracted, after that contraction of ventricles, the whole heart, all the muscles of heart, atrium and ventricles are resting for only few seconds, that is 0.4 seconds. That is complete cardiac diastole when atria and ventricles are relaxed. So during this time, myocardium covers ready for the next heartbeat and the atria refill ready for the next cycle. Both atria contract at the same time and it's followed by simultaneous contraction of both ventricles. Now here is a number, you can see cardiac cycle, how cardiac cycle is getting completed. Atrial systole, that is for 0.1 second, means atriums are getting contracted. Then ventricular systole for 0.3 second. Complete cardiac diastole for 0.4 second equal to 0.8 second. So one cardiac cycle is taking 0.8 second. Okay, now here in this slide you can see for 0.1 second atriums are getting contracted, then 0.3 second ventricles are getting contracted, and for 0.4 second whole heart is relaxing. Now within 0.8 second one whole complete cardiac cycle is taking place. In this picture you can see that atria getting contracted, valves open, ventricular relax, atriopulmonary valves open. Atria means in this picture you will see as per the color in the second it is contraction of ventricle, and this is, yes, any problem? Okay, so now we are going to heart sound.
So we have a lesson from our childhood. The heart sounds lub dub lub dub.
So how this lub dub is produced? So lub is fairly loud due to closure of atrioventricular valves. When the atrioventricular valves are closing, at that time lub sound produces and it is fairly loud.
But the dub sound is a bit softer than lub. And due to closure of atrio and pulmonary valves, stethoscope is used to hear the heart sound. Okay, so this dub sound is a bit softer. So we need to listen dub sound. We need a stethoscope to listen dub sound.
So lub sound is occurring when atrioventricular valves are closing and dub sound is occurring when the pulmonary valves are closing.
Okay. Now this is blood pressure. It is a pressure that blood exerts on the walls of blood vessels. Okay, so as you put some liquids on any vessel, for example, you are boiling water on your pan. The pressure or force water is exerting on that pan is pressure of that liquid. The same thing, the pressure or force is being exerted by blood on the walls of blood vessel, that is blood pressure. The inner wall of blood vessel is getting or feeling the pressure of blood.
That is blood pressure. Now, blood pressure is of two types, systolic and diastolic. Obviously, systolic when the left ventricle contracts and pushes the blood into aorta. The pressure produces within atrial system is called systolic blood pressure. Okay, so when the blood vessels are getting contracted, when they will contract, when there is a greater force or get greater pressure. So when the pressure is greater, when blood is more, right? When the blood is more, then the pressure is greater. So when blood will be more, when ventricular contraction is happening, at that time blood from ventricles are coming to artery and the pressure is increasing, that is systolic pressure. And when the heart is resting following the ejection of blood, pressure within arteries are much lower and it is called diastolic pressure. So when the heart is relaxing, at that time less pressure in artery walls too. So it is known as diastolic pressure. So in an adult it is about 80 mmHg. mmHg stands for millimeter per millimeter mercury. So normal blood pressure for adults is 120 systolic and 80 diastolic. Millimeter mercury. Hg denotes mercury and mm denotes millimeter. Okay. So this is the normal blood pressure 180 by 20, 120 by 80, and it can vary plus minus 10, and for children and for old age people it varies a bit, and this is 120 by 80 mmHg. This is for adults. Now, what are the factors that determine blood pressure? First one, that is cardiac output. Obviously, cardiac output will determine blood pressure. Cardiac output is the amount of blood that is getting emitted from left ventricle. Right. And next is peripheral or atrioventricular resistance. Means if the blood vessels are getting resisted, means the walls of arteries are getting rigid, so they that may also vary blood pressure. Then auto regulation, adjusting BP local vessels by body organs independently or systemic blood pressure. So adjusting BP in local vessels by body organs, that may also regulate blood pressure. Means when body organs are getting affected by any region and they are adjusting blood vessels in case of any organ. So these are the factors which may control blood pressure. Mean blood pressure is controlled by changing total peripheral resistance and cardiac output. Cardiac output is controlled by sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves, which affect heart rate and force of contraction. Okay, so now sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system will also affect the blood pressure. Obviously, when sympathetic nervous system is active at that time, heart rate will go increase. So blood pressure will also increase, right? Mm, these are not much important. Yeah. Cardiovascular centers in brain. So we have discussed earlier that vagus nerve is a 10th cranial nerve which comes down crossing your neck. This is the only nerve, vagus nerve, means this is the only cranial nerve, 10th cranial nerve, vagus nerve, which come down across crossing the neck. So vagus nerve comes to heart and it regulates the activity of heart, and the center of parasympathetic nervous system for heart is sympathetic and parasympathetic, both is located in medulla. These are a bit difficult. Yes, this thing we have already discussed, that kidney um, kidney releases three hormones. Renin is one of them. So renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system, it regulates blood pressure. We have already discussed in earlier classes that kidney releases renin, which regulate blood pressure. So when renin is getting released, then it stimulate angiotensin to release. So angiotensin 1, angiotensin 2, then aldosterone system, they control blood pressure. So antidiuretic hormone, that is vasopressin, it is stored by posterior pituitary and secreted by hypothalamus, if you remember. So, okay, it's 8 also. So, these are the things which control blood pressure. This is the mechanism. You can see how renin is controlling blood pressure. When renin is getting released, then it stimulates angiotensin 1, then angiotensin 2 by the help of
angiotensin converting enzyme.
Then when angiotensin 2 is getting released, then it stimulates aldosterone and antidiuretic hormone that is released from pituitary, posterior pituitary. And both these hormones, they um, they promote sodium retention in kidney. Means sodium from water or sodium from blood, they will not filter it out. Means sodium will not be filtered out from kidney. The sodium will be kept in the kidney. So when sodium is increasing in our body, or sodium is increasing in our blood, it will increase the liquidity of blood. So it will increase the pressure of blood. Okay. So this is the mechanism discussed here. You have all these slides. If you want to go through, you can go through. So this is the end
Basic circulatory system. If any question, you can ask.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there any question?
No.
Ma'am, till now, no, ma'am. I will go through the slide. If anything will be doubt, then I will ask, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, I went through the slides today a bit faster because there was nothing much important for you. And those things which are important, which you need to know, we have already discussed earlier. So,
Okay.
yes. And you have the slides, you can go through the slides anytime. You can ask me questions anytime and go through the slides. You will learn. Okay. So,
Okay.
let's.
Ma'am, can you do 5 minutes question and answer session?
Today?
Yes, now only.
Uh,
If you have time, otherwise we will do tomorrow.
Hello, ma'am.
yeah.
Ma'am, can we discuss regarding this topic those questions who are asked in the previous year? Minimum, not much like that. 5 questions or 10 questions like that. Those questions are already asked in the previous year's UGC NET relating to this topic. Can we discuss like that, ma'am? After the
We
class.
we discuss every day just before the class starting. Means before the starting of class, we discuss every day. Means I ask questions every day. So
Oh,
if
yes,
you
ma'am. Okay, ma'am, I'm a newcomer. I joined
no
newly.
problem, no problem.
Okay.
You will get benefited by the slides, and you will get benefited by that test. Rigorous tests
Yes, ma'am.
are being taken by MDYA team, and the students themselves also. They are also conducting tests.
so you will go through so many tests in MDYA. So I hope
Yes.
that will meet your need.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And if you join the class in time every day, you will get the questions every day before starting the class.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
I have
Thank
to
you.
go to at 9 a.m. to AIMS. So I think I should leave.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So we will leave with prayer. Sit straight, close your eyes, adopt Namaskar Mudra in front of your chest, and start the prayer with a deep inhalation. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Now rub your palms. Put those palms on your facial muscles. Feel the warmth. Feel the energy. And open your eyes with a smile on your face. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.